Okay. I am not sure what just happened. Please let me know if you can still hear me. I have no idea why my audio settings were off since the very last time that I streamed. Didn't remember where my mic was. Um, um, Uh, okay, thank you very much, Triffity Mats and Crit Twitch, for letting me know that you can hear me now. I'm going to monitor desktop audio as well because that says that it's still on, but I didn't know why couldn't find my mic. Okay, cool. But we are here now for yet another session of Soundclash the Clampdown. All of my friends are gathered with me backstage and are ready to actually perform in their first clash of this session of this campaign, so I'm very excited. But first, we should get some very basic um, uh, housekeeping out of the way. Let us remember that this channel, twitch.tv/Arvan Elron, operates largely from the kind support of you all by becoming a patron on the Arvan Elron Patreon, which you can find if you type !Arvtreon in the chat, by visiting all of the places where you can find Gregory Wilson's wonderful creative endeavors, including his website, arvanelron.com and gregorywilson.com. !Arv shop will bring you to the shop where you can buy all the so many lovely things that are representative of the loves that you may have of this channel and of Greg's work. Definitely must also shout out speculatorstuff.com as one of the co-hosts of Speculate. We also do a lot of Speculate content on this channel, which you can also support by by supporting Speculate on Patreon. And youtube.com/arvanelleron, where you can find various reposted streams of the content that is on this channel. Um, uh, one of the things that we definitely make an effort to assert and affirm on this channel is that Black Lives Matter. So !BLM will share a list of resources that you can find if you want to support any of the organizations that do good work on the ground in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, or educate yourself more about that movement. !Help now if you want to discover valuable resources about mental health, especially in these times. It has become more important for us to be aware of our own mental health and how we can support the mental health journeys of our friends and loved ones. Any resources that you can find there will be definitely useful in that regard. I also want to shout out, which we don't have like a command for, but is nonetheless still very important. Um, eh, #Free Palestine. Our mission here on this channel in general has always consistently been to speak out whenever injustice is happening, and to create a space where everyone is informed, educated, and feels radically moved to engage in just ways in the world that they live in. And over the past few weeks, the situation in Palestine has been untenable in a way that demands our active awareness and our active participation. Even though there is a ceasefire, there is still massive injustice taking place in Palestine. There are people who are being evicted from their homes. There are people who are being actively socially and politically discriminated against in a space where their own rights are being curtailed. And the flashpoint of that is always violence when it appears in the news, but it nonetheless also bears repeating that there is a kind of violence that is taking place in Palestine that has nothing to do with guns and nothing to do with bombs, and everything to do with devaluing the lives, the lived experiences, the history and the political power of the Palestinian people. So, with that in mind, our cast member Amaraz has made a very useful resource on Twitter with um, educational resources if you want to learn more about the Palestinian struggle, ways that you can support organizations on the ground, as well as increase the visibility of these issues and signal boost those organizations so that work can continue. I also want to definitely shout out one of the few literary organizations that has made a direct statement about Palestine in the last few weeks has been Strange Horizons, a magazine that I'm already very fond of, in part because they are always so considerate about social issues all over the world. I've just shared a link to their Palestinian special issue, which is not only full of very well written and engaging work, but full of work that elevates the voice of Palestinians and gives a much needed, if through a speculative lens, much needed context to that struggle and to the ways in which Palestinian individuals survive through it. So if you can uh, peruse those materials, share those materials as much as possible, it would do a great deal of good, I think, for us to not only be aware, but be aware of ways that we can actively engage with those issues productively and responsibly. So, thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to join some of my friends now because they are all ready to do a thing.
Doesn't tell you how to turn them
I
off
hope
if
I
you don't
didn't
need them.
interrupt them while they were having a very interesting conversation. But I'm pretty sure that I did interrupt them because interrupting them is what I do. As we now move to the game screen where you can see all of these lovely people. Hi, lovely people.
Hello.
Wagwan,
Hello.
wagwan.
Very excited to play another game of Soundclash Clampdown with you all. So, before we begin, I will ask all of you to please introduce yourselves by telling the lovely folks in chat who you are, what you do, and who you will be playing this evening, starting with Vale.
Hey guys, it's me, Vale, game designer, podcaster, and streamer here with you guys. I use he, they pronouns, and I play Ava, who is the beat. I'm almost positive I'm the beat. And she uses she, her pronouns.
Mm-hmm. And this is true, you do play the beat. Next, Nathan.
Hi, hi, hello, hello, hello. I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, tabletop RPG designer and streamer. I play Oliver Hushizora, the Harmony, who is a resident theremin player, anime protagonist, and sad boy.
Mm-hmm. Next, Katie.
Hi there, it's me, Katie Chin. I have she, her pronouns, part-time comedian, full-time tired bean. Tonight, I will be playing River Song, aka The Rhythm, aka a similar tired bean.
And last but not least, Amor.
Hello. Tis I'm Ramirez. I'm here to play Nechamet, the person who is done trash talking and is ready to sing. We both use they, she pronouns. Let's get it.
Nice. And as we say that, the the events of the last session were almost entirely dedicated to the very first bouts of this season's clash here in Sonata 6. Um, when our intrepid performers had just gotten to the library amphitheater, um, two bands had just finished performing, in fact. Stella and the Horoscopes and Weirder had just come off stage. Um, while they were on stage, River got into some shenanigans and may have learned things of value. Um, Stella and the Horoscopes seemed not to have done very well in their clash, and immediately afterward, a cordial eclectic was up against Noah Get the Boat. Witnessed a very outstanding and crowd rousing performance. that included but not limited to summoning a portal in the middle of the sky, elsewhere in the clefts, where a large object fell from the sky and got shot with a cannon. So we might discover more about that, but as it stands, the band is presently on stage. Nakmat had just promised the audience a performance of a lifetime, and we begin this session essentially panning into this performance, hovering over the audience of the library amphitheater, who are all buzzing with energy to witness this new band, who some of them know a little bit about because they've heard some things on the internet, but this is the first time that they've ever seen this band perform and are about to witness the first performance of a cordial eclectic, as the camera zooms in on this band together. And this is where we get into the actual meat of um, Clash rules from a player character perspective, which is mostly very simple, which is every song is cut up into a series of phrases from the intro to the verse to the chorus to the next verse and so on. And each one of those phrases is an individual turn in which the group will perform a group action, which works mostly the same way that it does in Blades with some modified rules because of how dice work in this game. Um, every time every success that is rolled in that sequence will essentially dictate how that phrase is performed on stage. At which point I will give the players not only an opportunity to essentially describe their individual experience on stage, but if they get any stunning performances, they get to activate the magical tags that are attached to their song, which will allow them to do wild things on stage and even to the audience. And I will give them the opportunity to decide which one of those tags they want to use and how they affect them as well. The players are also allowed to push themselves, which would mean taking 2 stress in order to add plus 2 to their individual rolls, or spend a point of moxie, which allows them to do the same. Um, but what is also noteworthy is every individual who strains during a clash will take 1 point of stress to themselves, and those are functionally the rules of performing in a clash. So we will begin with the very first phrase of the song that they're about to perform, which is Starfall, which opens with the intro. So I will ask you all. So a group action is usually led, and since Nakmat gave such a rousing speech, I'm gonna ask you to like lead the discussion amongst your group about
Okay.
what action you'd like to take for this role, because a performance would assume that it leads to sway, but you can do anything that you want in this moment. In fact, being a punk band, sometimes there are some other actions that you might want to take that would be very stage heavy in a way that would benefit a punk band. If you want to break shit, for instance.
Okay.
So, the
Sure.
discussion is led to you all.
Yeah. Guys, should I start by sharing the intro with our audience? The description we have of it that was written to
Oh
us
yeah,
by our
definitely.
wonderful Nathan.
In fact, yes, do that, and
All right.
we will discover more as roles take place. But yes, continue.
So the intro to Starfall is described as an ambient, glittery soundscape that sharply converges.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, just as the GM, I will say I'm inclined to say sway, but
Yeah.
that's an assumption that I'll constantly make. So you are free to um, suggest anything else as a group if you like.
Oh, you're muted, Nathan. I see your mouth music, and you too, Vale.
There we go. Hi. I don't have any points in sway, so I'm kind of like, oh, should I roll sway? I don't wanna.
Yeah,
but-
I have 2 points in sway.
Mhm.
But I can also. I don't know. What else are we feeling?
I'm
Uh,
s- I'm I'm kind of liking Sway for the first one. I
Yeah.
don't have any points in Sway, but I'm
Fair.
kind of liking it.
Fair.
okay.
I think it works for our intro because I've been looking at the rest, and I think we have some interesting opportunities to like diverge from the norm as we go down that list of descriptions. So like start off standard and then like sharp
And then
fear.
get weird with it. For
Yeah.
sure.
I will
Three of us
also.
don't have points in sway, so that's just fun. I'm always.
Am I
about
the
that.
only one here this way?
I will
Yeah,
also mention,
you're
of
group
course.
face.
I will also mention, of course, that you can use any abilities that you would like that may potentially benefit at this point as well, because I think River has one that would be potentially useful in performances.
I will read the ones I have for the sake of the audience. There are 2 abilities I have that will benefit us during this performance. The first one is when you join in a group action, all straining rolls have no adverse effects, meaning that they are just excellent rolls all around when I join in. And the other one is called Backbone, meaning during a performance, any stunning performance roll gives you a point of moxie. And then bandmates may spend it to improve their roll's effect level.
Combos into each other, really.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as somebody with no points in sway, I have to roll a d20, so I will prepare to do that. And shall we kind of put our rolls in roll 20 and then kind of hit enter at the same time? Does that sound like a fun time for people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it allows
So
me
I'm
to
currently
see as a
rolling
group
what?
how everyone is doing. So everyone who does not have any dots in Sway will have to roll 2d20s and take the worst result, whether it is a failure or a straining.
Question then.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm canceling out adverse effects of straining rolls, do you still take the straining roll if you rolled a strain and a failure?
If the straining roll was the result that would be functionally worse compared to the other, you will take it. Which means that because you cancelled this out, it will just turn into an additional stunning performance. So you've essentially
fun.
just
Yes, pray roll high. With both of them, I guess. If they're both straining performances, you're set.
All right.
But I've got mine ready.
Yep.
Same.
Ready.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, roll.
Ah.
I messed up everything.
Oh no.
What? I mean, I got it on time. Nope.
We will see.
Hold on, I typed it in. Okay, for times the charm. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have points in sway, there's modifiers on that,
Yes,
right?
I
that
do
would
have
be
a +4 on that.
+4.
That's a 13.
Aha. So, this is noteworthy. So
Katie, that was a hilarious roll.
Yep. All ones, baby. That's how I roll.
of the worst effects of the worst results of everyone rolling without dots in sway, I see 2 failures. A success and a minor success, if I'm not mistaken.
I think 2 full successes.
Right, yes. Okay, so that's 2 full successes.
Isn't a 13 like the low end of a?
9 to 13 is the full success.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
14 is
I'm just on the
stunning.
threshold.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So this is where one of the unfortunate side effects of this of how clashes work also takes place, which is failures cancel out both minor successes and successes. So it means that because you have 2 failures and 2 successes, you have a performance level in this this first phrase of the song of 0. which
Okay,
is
so this would
not
be a good
ideal.
time for us to bump up one of those successes with a stunning performance to cancel out one of the failures.
If there's any
Mm-hmm.
moxie floating, and I think we do.
We do. I believe we have 2 points of band moxie,
Mm-hmm.
and do I have like my own personal pool of moxie?
Yes, your pool of moxie is your own, which is a specialty of
Okay.
your role in particular, which means that there is a total of 3 moxie,
Mm-hmm.
which anyone can, two of which anyone can spend, and one of which River can freely give to anyone
Gotcha.
that she wishes or decide to use individually. And River also has an ability that, with enough stunning performances, will just allow to
Yes.
regain Moxie and continue to redistribute it at will.
Yes, okay. One more power gaming esque question.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if I use the band Moxie to up my performance to a stunning performance? Do I then gain a Moxie for doing that? Or do I have to roll
You have to
specifically the stunning
roll. You have
performance?
to roll a stunning performance to gain a point of Moxie.
Okay, this makes sense. That's good.
I will specify, however, that if you wanted to push yourself for spend Moxie, you had to do that before you rolled. So
Yep.
unfortunately, this phrase is 0.
This,
So,
this was fun. A fun discussion now.
unfortunately, it means I have to. I will leave some of that description to you all because I want to get into your heads as well. But a lot of what happens on stage in this moment is essentially there is a pause at which point, like, y'all are figuring out whether people are eager to hear from you. Should we start now? Should someone be keeping time? And as a result, everything just kind of lulls for a moment in this section of the song. Everyone is still at their places, ready to do the thing, but things haven't. The collective of the band hasn't made anything particularly outstanding yet. I wanna find out specifically from um, Oliver and Ava. I think. How are you feeling in this moment when when like you're about to begin?
Sure. I think the nature of, because this opening is quite ambient as described and quite noodly, it doesn't start off on a big hit. And I think because we've hit this moment of slightly unfocus, the ambience goes on for like 16 bars too long, and the audience is getting a little bored of the fact that it's a bit free floaty and hasn't converged yet. Is how I would probably render Oliver falling short on theremin playing in this particular moment.
Okay, cool.
I think Ava just straight up forgets the first bit of the song. And and she's just like, "Oh, this is really floaty. How am I supposed to add the percussion? Oh yeah, the cymbal." So like it's at least like 8 bars where she's just like, "Oh, fuck am I? Oh yeah."
So, Nachmat, you witness this taking place. You have just, I just to get into your head, you have just promised the audience a standout show, and this happens. How do you feel in this individual moment? Are you frozen? Please don't be frozen.
I think I'm as frozen on our side. Oh,
Oh, hello.
Aha! You've
Am I
there
returned.
you are. Hello.
Yes.
Cool. I was wondering why. Yeah. So I started talking and you couldn't hear me, and then I was like, oh no, because my computer my Wi-Fi does a thing where if I lose connection, I will still hear people for a few seconds before they can stop hearing me. So I'll start
Happens
talking
to
a
me
bit.
too.
No response, and then, oh no, it's this again. Like I go
I'm
through all
very
my mics.
sorry.
Check. But anyways, I'm sorry about that. I'm back. I was saying, yeah, I think Nagmat does notice this. I think that what happens is like I feel like because from what I hear from like Eva and Oliver is there might be like a little bit of the cue miss to like get the song to converge into like the sort of ending of the intro. So I feel like Nagmat tries to like smooth it over by like repeating the last few bars again, so it looks like it was intentional. But like Oliver said, it feels to the audience like we dragged on too long before closing back in. So like it still sounds nice, but it It's just that they can tell that it's a little bit longer than it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we will get it. We will move into the next phrase then, which is the chorus. So before we read the description, I will ask you all to roll again. Again, you are free to take any action that you wish. It doesn't have to be sway, so long as we can agree that it fits, as well
I
as take
would
any
make
actions
a-
that you
Can we
want
all
to.
roll different things?
Unfortunately, as a group action, it does have to be the same action.
Okay.
I would make an argument this time for finesse. We are
Yeah.
going fast and quick and accurate.
Yeah, especially because we're playing. So, like, the description is the band plays in unison, a hard and fast jangling melody, and I feel like to coordinate the fact that we are both playing all in unison with this real fast and speedy and technical melody, finesse makes sense to me.
Okay. So, does everyone have dots in finesse?
I have no dots in any force skill.
Okay. Two
I have
dots.
an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh,
How are your dots in direct?
No.
I have no dots in direct either. I'm fine either way. I have no.
What about scuffle? I have
no
an
force
argument for scuffle too.
I don't have any of those.
I think Scuffle would definitely come into play later on in the song.
Yeah,
When we return to
chorus
the
reprise,
chorus,
maybe?
that kind of more aggressive energy, I think, definitely fits there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because my argument for direct was like, okay, let's get this timing back together. Let's lead them where we
Mhm.
want to go.
Well-
Where we want to go.
An
Uh-huh.
alternate proposal: compose. I don't know how folks feel about compose, but since we are attempting to make corrections on the fly while also doing this technical place, having knowledge of composition to adapt to one another.
Aha.
How do you guys how are you guys on compose? If a majority of us have dots in it, I think we should roll it.
I think ironically, we've designed our character sheets in a way where we step on each other's toes relatively little, which makes sense for being out in the world,
Yeah.
but when we're playing as a unit, not so much.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Which gives me a brilliant game design think on the fly suggestion that we can make in this moment. I think that it is possible for us to get to the point where everyone can roll the thing that they want to roll, but it would require Nachmat to give me a roll right now.
Okay.
It can be either compose or direct, because we're essentially going for your capacity to lead the rest of the group into making their own decisions in a way that is going to feed back into the group productively.
So what I'm hearing is you're asking me to choose between 0 and 2 dots.
Essentially, yes. So what are those 2 dots then? I presume
Compose.
Compose. Nice. Brilliant. Your your position is desperate.
That makes sense.
So mark that accordingly.
Yep.
Your effect. Your effect is standard. I would have said limited because this is your first performance, but you did rehearse, and it's not like you're performing with people that you don't know, so it would be kind of unlikely for me to make that much lower. So yes.
Can I make an interesting argument to bump up my effect?
I'd like to hear it. Yes.
So my hum allows me to push myself or spend the moxie. I think I'll go with push myself here to do one of the following. And the last option is make a small crowd stop what they're doing. I would like to argue to use that to get the group's attention, to make them stop being disjoint so that they can listen to my new direction.
Yeah, I'm for it. That definitely works. That I'm gonna say that gives you increased effect.
Okay.
So your standard becomes great.
All right. Then A 7, a minor success.
Uh, okay. A minor success in this instance, I think, means you did get their attention.
Mhm.
Things are still kind of wavy at the moment, but everyone did notice you. Like they are like committed to attempt as much as possible to um focus and make sure that the rest of the song goes as smoothly as possible. In part because they are aware that you have noticed.
Mhm.
So it's more like trying not to embarrass you more than trying not to embarrass themselves or trying not to crash on stage because like there's this kind of moment of, oh, we came here to do a thing and it's not working. um, and I will say that the effect of that is um, yeah, it isn't high enough that anyone can get to the point of doing their own thing, but it is to the point where I would count for individuals who are rolling without dots. I would count the more beneficial roll rather than the least beneficial roll. So there is still
Okay.
at least something
We'll take
to
that.
be. Yeah.
We'll take that.
We take those.
Mhm.
So we're
But the-
rolling
but-
direct here.
Uh, the group action for this phrase is still whatever group action you all agree on to
Oh.
make that
Mhm.
decision. So what did you have in mind for the chorus?
I think we were between direct and finesse. I'm cool with either.
Mm-hmm.
Up to.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna push for finesse then.
All right, let's do it. Let's do finesse.
Let's do finesse.
Okay.
All right.
I got my thing ready.
I'm ready.
I've got mine ready properly this time, I think.
Okay.
Hold on.
No.
I will give you all the count. I just want to remember as well that this will also, whenever you're rolling, it will also include the bonuses for the dots that you have, because I wasn't aware of how many dots Armor had in whatever was rolled first.
Yeah.
Was that
Yep.
9?
Yep.
That 9 was like +2 or +4.
4.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it was a 13.
Just wanted to be aware. Okay, cool. So whenever you're rolling, it should also include your bonuses. So with that in
Gotcha.
mind, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
I would be going bust, except River Song is helping me out here.
Yeah, so a bunch of good successes.
Mhm.
Okay, that's
3 strains and a normal.
6.
It's amazing how we perfectly defined the range for full success here.
Aha. Because no failures. Right. So because no failures and because of River's ability, your performance level for this phrase has gone immediately to 7.
Oh,
And I'm taking note in particular of those 3 stunning performances because that's a lot. Because now that a strain is just essentially a stunning performance, it means that you have officially, because being aware of stunning performances is also valuable as well. So you've gone from not really knowing what anyone is doing in the middle of this intro all the way to wham, the chorus hits the audience immediately. Those 3 stunning performances allow you to activate all three tags for the chorus,
Ooh.
which are impact, accelerate, and duplication. For the description being, the band plays in unison a hard and fast jangling melody. So I want to hear like, I want all of the individuals who rolled that stunning performance. I want you to pick one of those tags and tell me how does that physically impact your play or the way that your performance looks on stage or affects the audience.
y'all mind if I like quickly add a bit of flavor to like my first role that to like set y'all up for your
Go
stunning
ahead,
performances?
babe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like I think we have our intro right, and it's dragging on a little. So I think Nakmet just like stops and like clicks their heels together, and like there's a long staccato that is a little bit longer than it should be. Just pause for like 2 beats, and then start picking it up again like right into the chorus.
Mm.
Love it. I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
I think I want to take the tag of duplication on this one as we kind of hit the simultaneous melody. There are 2 sets of accordion eclectic, and then 3 sets, and then 4 as they just kind of like fill the stage. Like an army of marksmen have suddenly appeared on stage simultaneously.
Oh, I
Okay.
love that.
Does it look like you're like multiple bodies filling up the stage, or does it look like you're kind of like echoing out into the stage?
I like the idea of it being kind of like, you know, there are simultaneous. It's almost as if they have copy pasted a second set and then multiple sets of on stage, like we're all lined up.
Ah, okay, cool. Um,
I can take the impact tag in that the melody that we're playing, it's got a bunch of those good deep like bass notes that make your like heart like rumble. If anyone's been to those concerts that make you feel it in your chest, we've got a bunch of those, but also like you can feel it in your ears that the melody that we're playing is really like impacting them, and that they're going to remember. It's going to be something that's stuck in their heads for days to come, even though they've only heard it once.
like I just want to add very briefly to that like there is a moment that you all are. There is a singular moment at the beginning of the chorus where all of you are playing your instruments at the exact same time, and it just kind of sends this like light bluish whitish wave of energy through the crowd, and anyone who's looking at the crowd can see like they feel like they've been physically hit by a thing that continues like passing through them. So yeah, that is like the physical effect of that impact.
Magic EMP.
And the impact was like Nachmat did like the heel click thing. I like to think we did one of those punk rock things where we all kind of jump up and then like jump down,
Yes.
and right at that moment there's like that ring of energy that just goes over the crowd.
And if I'm not mistaken, Vale had
Acceleration.
yes. So how does that play into this section?
So I really like the idea. Since we're also playing with like duplication, and there's multiple Avas right now. That like because it's like fast and jangling. I feel like you're seeing like all these Avas just start speeding up as they're hitting the melody, and like they're moving fast, and you're seeing almost like after effects of each of these Avas moving as they hit.
Cool. You'll visibly hear the audience is like they're not cheering yet, but you can like hear people like gasp for breath when that first impact hits them, and like everybody's like there is this low mutter of what's happening. I have never experienced a performance like this before. You could just kind of hear the energy kind of raise in the audience, and we get into the next phrase now. So for the verse, what group action would you like to take? Or, Nakmat, would you like to make another direct role? Or another compose role?
I'm up for it. Give us a chance to do well.
Okay.
Also, if at anyone at any point, like, because I know, for example, that at least Ava has direct, and like, if anyone else now that we're sort of on track wants to take over the direct compose, please feel free to. Otherwise, I'm happy to keep doing it. But...
Um. So.
I mean, I think your compose is just as good as my direct.
Yeah, I just mean more like for like spreading it around and or
Oh,
narrative
that's fair.
mechanically.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm happy to do it again now.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So your position would be risky, and your effect would be great.
Cool. Let's do it. A 12, a full success.
Hey.
Just a standard full success.
Cool. Everyone can now pick any individual action that they'd like for those roles. So just make sure to put your bonuses in Roll20 so I can see them, so I know exactly what everyone is rolling. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, but everyone can make their individual decisions now. I still just like to hear them, of course, though.
Yeah. I think that also works really well for the verse, which is a playful and irreverent call and response between lead instruments. So like
Oh
having us
ho!
play on different sort of wavelengths for that call and response, I think is real cool.
Yeah.
In this particular instance, Oliver is going to take a bit of a blending function. I would like to use my single point and mingle on this particular role. This is a conversation in many senses, and
Okay.
is cementing some back and forth. Also, I have lyrics for the verse section, so I
Ooh.
figure that would be a good use of that.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's not very long, but it is a thing. But we'll get
Hey.
into that when everybody's set
Mhm.
for what they want.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm so excited that people actually wrote lyrics for their songs. It's so dope.
Ah.
um. So, I have a question.
Hmm.
So we have magic tags that we can use if we have a stunning performance. What if I just want to use magic?
Um. Right. So this is another like interesting kind of attachment to how clashes work. It would make clashes far too busy if everybody just directed their energy into constantly doing this, obviously. But it is perfectly possible during a performance for you to take the moment that you would be performing and use that musical energy to do a thing. Um, but your success or failure in doing that thing would be the same success or failure that would affect the rest of the song as well.
Fair. If other people have activated magic tags completely, I'm deciding on what to do and the answer.
Please.
If other people have activated like magic tags in the part before, can we use those magic tags to do other things if we get a stunning performance?
I think when I initially wrote this, I misunderstood a thing that Brandon set up about how the magic works, where I put 3 tags per section. As I understand, I think it is supposed to be 3 tags per song as a whole.
We're still
unless that
playing
has
with this.
changed.
We're still playing with it as is because I think that there is a lot of energy there. So I will say, if the thing that if you can make a case for a tag from a previous section being beneficial to your performance in this phrase, you can make that case, and I will give you a bonus for that, if that's what you're
Cool.
looking for.
All right. I want to do a direct where Ava is passing sticks along with her duplicates and sort of using her like in like just pretty much thinking at these duplicates like this is what we're gonna do to show off.
Okay. River, what are you gonna do?
I would like to use observe because River is playing one of the lead instruments doing the call and response, so she has to keep a close eye on who she's partnered with. And it says specifically in the rules, predicting or anticipating outcomes. Take a close look at the situation and anticipate outcomes in order for her to react in the correct way.
Okay.
Okay.
Nuts.
I
Ah.
am going to before we roll, because I know that these modifiers are before we roll and not after. I am going to use my hum once per performance. I may push myself to increase another bandmate's roll by 1 level. I am going to put that push on Rivers Observe. So we are, the background work that Oliver's doing is honing in this focus, laser sighted.
Okay, nice. And what action is Nachmat taking?
That is a good question. Um. I think Nagmat is gonna take this opportunity to use study. In a similar way to
Ooh.
observe, but like playing. I think what Nagmat is going to do is a bit more proactive than the observe. So rather like feed calls to see how the group responds to the different calls, and
Aha.
then like go off that.
Mm-hmm. So, so the way that I'm interpreting this, and I love that I can see this in this game now, is that actions like observe and study are like that secondary mental action in like playing jazz and stuff like that, where you're being aware of um, what else is taking place on stage and trying to find ways
Yeah.
to feed back into that, which is cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I feel like observe is more like reading in the moment and reacting quicker, like what River is doing, whereas study is more getting a read, like a long term read for things that you can use that like by studying them more
okay,
targetedly.
cool. So, um, everyone's position is controlled, and everyone's effect is great except for River and Ava, whose effects are extreme.
Oh.
Ooh.
I am gonna add to this point. I'm gonna take 2 stress to push myself.
I was going to say I'm going to also do that.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And you'll just let me know when you're ready, and I will give you a count to roll.
I got my stuff
Yeah,
in.
ready.
Okay, I'm gonna just add +4 because of Oliver's boost, just because based on the tiers of success, that would approximately give me that extra tier.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's how it would numerically work out
I see.
for ease of looking at it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I
Okay.
am ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
Hey, Katie.
I freaking love good rolls.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
A minor, 2 stunning, and a regular.
Okay. No.
Yeah, that's just an effortless, stunning performance from Nukmart. Dang. No
Yeah,
tricks.
It's the good old average 12 out of 12.
Wait, is my brain doing the thing? Okay. If my math is correct, that's
3 plus 3 is 6 plus 2 plus 1. 9. 9 points.
yeah, 9 points, which brings the total performance level to 16. And you can activate one tag, Katie, of this
Ooh.
phrase in particular. The phrases of which are um, duplication, mirroring, and illusion.
Okay, since we've already got like our kind of Kage Bunshin activity cloning thing going on, I'm going to take illusion just because honestly they all kind of work into this, but what I want is kind of since we've got circles and everything going on, we've got a call and response that's kind of like causing this interesting clash that's going on, and I want it to cause a spin effect on us, which gives us a kaleidoscope looking like what is this? Oh wait, mirroring's better. Mirror effect.
Okay.
I take mirroring. I
Okay.
want a kaleidoscope of us.
Um. Okay. You like from from viewing the stage. The entire stage is now like a trip, like pure light show to everyone. And the moment that it happens, the moment that it shifts from um the duplication of your visage on stage to um the multiple Avas starting to gain speed and interact with each other on stage, and then it just kind of like tilts into that kaleidoscope effect from a single point on stage. And the moment that it happens, as you're looking on stage, everybody, the entire crowd, like like they lean back a bit, like what's happening? um, and then as it starts to sink in, everybody starts cheering. Like you can hear the person at the back of this auditorium like screaming their lungs out for you right now.
In the kind of like reflection of the multiple faces, and almost kind of like a ping pong audio from ear to ear, the audience can hear the lyrics of this particular verse. Break the structure down, wish upon a starfall. Hear the cool sizzle hit you with this noise wall. Fate sealed, your horoscope looks grim. Drawn into your black hole, no way to let the light in. No time for fighting, go do the right thing. Get out of the way before we strike you down lightning.
Nahla gets to activate a magic tag too, because 14 is the bottom of
All
a
right.
stunning performance.
I was waiting to hear the lyrics first because I wanted to do that before Sage. So
Ooh.
I think
So I want you to do a thing because I also want to do a thing. So yeah.
I think like the verse ends, and then I'm picking illusion. The lights in the stadium go out, and then there's just a single like whir of light through the sky that illuminates us on the stage, and we can still see the kaleidoscope effect that River described. And then more and more lights start streaking across the sky as shooting stars illuminate the auditorium.
Hell yeah.
I like that you did that.
I like how that syncs up with on the end of the last line, get out of the way before we strike you down lightning. There's like a ka-chunk.
Yeah, I was trying to figure
as
out where in the
lights
verse I would
go
put that,
off.
and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's perfectly right at the end. Like,
because
I
like
think actually like the lights cut out right before the final line, and the 1st one hits right as that line is said.
because like those effects and the performance level that you're at, I'm going to do you one better. It's not just the lights in the amphitheater. It's the lights on this block. This hex block has no light pollution going up into the sky whatsoever. The only thing that anyone can see are you all and those stars.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And like each like individual like shooting star starts very small, but like for whatever reason, just like suddenly, no matter how small or how far away it is enough light for some reason for the amphitheater to be fully illuminated. So like y'all are producing light, they're producing light, there's like the moon is giving like a little bit on the side. This is brilliant. This is really dope.
So anime.
So
you got to take it there.
we get back into the chorus now. So everyone can roll their individual skills here as well, in their individual actions.
Well, I was going to make a suggestion, especially built on what Eva was doing before. I think all of us have at least one point in a tune, right? I think, especially with the magic tags that go with the reprise on the chorus, it is time to very visibly bring it home and put the set piece in.
So everybody's ready to roll a tune?
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone wants to assure that their roll is good, I have 3 points in Moxie now.
I'll take one.
Okay. So that bumps up your effect level.
I'm gonna do what you did and just add a +4.
Okay, cool.
Maths wise, I think I'm rolling with enough dice where I'm not going to roll a d20. It's going to be a d12. But
Okay.
I
I'm
think
actually
we
gonna
can.
roll a d20 for the first time this evening.
I think with strains being as wild as they are right now, I think I'm gonna roll this d20. But I am rolling with +10 right now.
All right. This is a lot.
mathematically, that's so unnecessary. But okay.
Mathematically, anything to do with
Training
it.
rolls have no adverse effects. Isn't this for everybody?
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You all kind of overdo it. That's what reverse are here for.
I specifically rolled.
So long
with-
as you don't fail, things are fine.
Yeah, I guess if it's to cement the not failing, I will roll the 1d20 anyway, even though mathematically it's unnecessary. Let's just head okay.
Okay.
Hey, you
I'm
could
ready.
still
Never
roll a
tell
1
me
or a
the
2 and
odds.
get a full success instead of a stunning success. It's worth it. No, I mean, I've been specifically rolling with d12s despite not having a chance of straining because I think it fit for Nakhmet that even with the safety net, they wouldn't like be unrestrained with a lot of other stuff. But magic is a thing they specifically, I don't see her having as
Go
much
for
control, which is
wild
why d20.
Mhm.
Okay. So I will count you down again. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good numbers.
Butts.
That's
Alright.
still a minor success.
Right. 7 is
Rude.
minor. Is 6 minor?
Mm-hmm.
I think 6 is the threshold for minor. Yep.
Right.
4 to 8 is minor, actually. It's impossible for me to get a failure on a tune.
So that's
Suck it, 2 I rolled.
2 minors and two stunnings.
right. So that's 8 for performance level 24 with 2 stunnings. So Oliver and Ava, you get a tag each.
I mean, I think now is the time to cast Meteor, like it is Final
Yes.
Fantasy VII.
Oh my god. Okay, cool. What does that look like? Please don't kill anyone.
Yeah, with the shooting stars going across, there's one and the streak doesn't fade out. It just keeps going and is getting brighter and brighter. From way out over the hex, like almost like a hex away, up in the sky, it's now slowly getting closer into shot as people see this light approaching.
Okay. So,
I think we're all screaming at this point, like the chorus.
yeah, y'all are like all out. Not necessarily all like whoever's singing is going all out. Like you're all like massively playing on your instruments as well. I'm gonna say, so this meteor is a thing. It comes out of this. It like starts moving into the hex as normal. It is like far away from you all, but it's close enough that it is perfectly visible from the amphitheater without like looming over everyone like the moon in Majora's Mask or something like that. But I'm going to say because that's your tag, you notice at the same time the cannons that you had previously noticed earlier that evening that had shot something out of the sky earlier are repositioning to like try to lock on what can obviously be that meteor.
Brandon.
But before it fires, I want to hear what Vale does.
Brandon, do I notice the cannons moving?
Yes, you also notice the cannons moving. You
I
and
want to
multiple
use
other
my
Avas notice.
accelerate. I want to use my accelerate tag to start making the cannons go out of control.
Okay, cool. because it's coming from the stage. It travels on stage and like through the audience, like this whooshing sound passes through like a small segment of the audience, as if Superman had run past them. It rushes through the outdoor exit of the amphitheater, down several blocks to the point where you can see that it's something. You can see that a force is traveling, but like you can no longer like really make out what it is or would have been at some point. It hits two cannons on the very edge of Sonata 6 while they're still like turning to reposition, and it hits them so hard that they just start spinning.
Yes.
You can see like very vaguely. You can see like small sparks flying from the wall at the edge of the hex as these two cannons essentially unscrew themselves from the earth and go tumbling into the sky.
No.
And they are like, and they're spinning so fast and going so high, they go like 80, 90 feet in the air. And
This seems dangerous.
two cannons on on either side of where those two cannons would have been reposition very quickly and shoot those two cannons out of the sky. There are piles of like silver and white accented rubble now falling on the corner of that hex. But at least it weren't the whole cannons. They are just like shredded cannons in the air now. Jeez. And now we're into the final phrase, if I'm not mistaken. So for the outro, what actions will you all be rolling?
Simultaneous with a lot of impact.
I would quite like to roll a tune again. Can I just double check a rules thing briefly, Brandon? Can you remind me what reverb points do?
Reverb
They're the ones
points.
that manifest to the little crystals. I recall that much, but I don't remember what they do mechanically.
Right. If I recall correctly, reverb points are essentially physical external moxie. So you can use those. You can use those to increase effect to add +2. I will say mechanically, while you are mathematically correct, it is still important for you all to like physically roll low. So at this point onward, even though I think that it was really rad, and I'm still going to allow those rolls to stand, you won't add +4 to those rolls. It's simply so I can still see what the result leading into that effect would be. But a reverb like Moxie, it will add +2 to your roll, increase your effect, or has like other narrative effects that will become significant when we interact with more noise or more troublemakers like Weirdo, which we haven't gotten to yet. So yes.
If we're all picking individual skills to roll again, I would like to pick a tune, because let's go bring this on home and not kill everybody with a giant meteor.
Yes.
I also still kind of want to use the tune. I feel like Ava is sort of like, you know when you're like, oh, I shouldn't use this. I'm not gonna use it, and then you use it, and you're like, oh, this feels good. It's kind of what Ava's feeling right now. It's probably bad, but hey.
River, what about you?
I kind of want to use a tune too, based on the great sending messages across great distances effect it says in the rules. I just want like the quiet ambiance to be somehow really, I want to say the word penetrating, like how tension, I like that word and it annoys me that it's sexual now.
No,
anyways, that's
I'm
I'm
besides
sorry
the
that I'm a
point.
child. I'm
Yes.
sorry. That was it was a very.
Like, I knew 100% what you were going for, but I'm also gonna laugh because you said because you set it up, like because you specifically called attention to it. If you hadn't, I might not have laughed as much.
I'm a poet. I would not have noticed.
Okay, well,
I
I'm gonna
just
just
like
use it regular
words.
from now on, and
Yeah.
listeners, you can take it as you will. And that is what she said.
Oh
So,
God! See,
we're
you
just
keep
gonna get that
you
out
keep
of my
drawing
head.
attention to it. Oh my God!
I can't.
Oh my God! Nakmat, what are you doing?
I think I think someone's gotta like draw the audience into like the wind down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna go with Sway
Aha.
to like as everyone else is sort of like bringing the magic to an end. I bring the like I guide the audience through the like the melody to an end.
Okay. Cool. Um, everyone's position is standard. Everyone's effect is extreme.
One last thing. I'm going to push myself, which maxes out my stress, and this is narratively by design. But just so you know that at the end of this combat, at the end of this performance, I will fall over.
All right. Well, so when you say your stress is maxed out, you mean you have?
9 stress.
Okay, cool. Well, all right. You're getting dangerously close to like being traumatized, but I'll allow it.
Oh, that is on purpose. I don't need to push myself to make this roll work, but narratively, considering where we have put things, I think it would be like story-wise relevant to do.
Yeah, I like your style. Let's just hope nothing more stressful happens to Oliver Hoshizora for the rest of the evening.
Or let's hope for the mess.
Oh my God.
Mess.
I mean, mess is also good. But yes, using my reverb point to raise my level of effect, and I'm stressing myself out. I'm ready now.
Is extreme the highest?
Extreme is the highest, so you don't have to do that. Because everyone's effect is already extreme.
Or rather, raising my results level by 1 tier. So if I roll or fail, it pushes it to minor that.
Okay.
Sorry, that's me using the terminology incorrectly.
All right.
I would like to use a band moxie to increase my effect by 1 as well. Because River
success
has
tier, yeah.
been a success tier, an effect level. Because River has been getting really into this.
Okay, y'all are doing the most. All right. So I will. If everyone is ready to roll, I will count it down again. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my God! Oh my
Oh,
God!
that was just very measured on everyone's part.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
Wow!
full
Just
successes.
successes.
Hey,
Wow, that's
it's
pushed
still
was stunning, but yeah.
it's still 8 points that bring us.
I feel like it's because our band is realizing the song's coming to a close, so we actually have to like start cooling down and stopping, and it's almost done reluctantly.
Yeah.
This is so much, and I love it.
Well, the description of the line of the finale is a simultaneous melodic impact, followed by quiet ambience.
And your success still goes up to stunning performance, right, Nathan?
Mm-hmm.
Which means you get to use a magic tag.
If I may, I would like to essentially make, rather than it being low gravity as the magic tag, make it 0 gravity, as the meteor zooms in, almost, I guess, with the shrapnel also starting to rain down on the town behind us, and everybody's kind of like, oh no, it's going to impact us. And on that big melodic impact that we do simultaneously, it's almost as if we hit pause on the entire city and it just stops. The meteor frozen in place immediately above the arena. And then it slowly starts to spin as it floats there idly above the arena.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like it's just like tilting in air.
That's so fucking baller, man.
Like when it happens, I'm going to say that like there's this briefest moment that everyone in the amphitheater, you all included, like just very briefly, very like almost imperceptibly, if you weren't really paying attention, everyone starts hovering over the ground, just like a half an inch. And like they feel themselves land back, to the ground just as the song is about to close. And they are about to cheer. If I'm not mistaken, there is another stunning performance that I see here. Hold on, let me check that
Katie's
again.
is also. Did you say that you raised yours by 1 success level? Or
I raised mine, but I added the 4. I forgot if Brandon said not to do that.
Mm,
right.
And if you did, I didn't listen.
Rip.
Apparently.
yeah, that's
Okay,
fair.
never mind.
Understood. Um. Okay, cool. So, at the end of that performance, everybody like slowly like resettles to the ground. There is this moment of like absolute stillness as um the song winds down, and like you can see everybody is like staring at each other, staring at the meteor, staring at whatever bits of cannon shrapnel are still falling all the way to the other side of the hex, looking back at you as like the kaleidoscope effect starts like tilting all the way back to normalcy, and like you feel all of these duplicate versions start slowly dissipating. Ava, you actually feel something totally different than everybody else, which is you feel like these multiple Avas are literally colliding with your body. Like they're like very visibly and like forcibly like coming back into you as you like keep striking the drums. Like each time you tap something on the drum kit, another Ava is just like sliding back into you. And as everything like winds down, there's a beat of pure silence, and like someone all the way to the back and like to the side shouts, "Accordion Eclectic!" And everybody just starts cheering wildly. People are like people who like folks who came with like glow sticks and like colored fans and stuff are like throwing stuff in the air very violently and forcefully. Like you can feel like the stage of the amphitheater literally rock underneath your feet at this moment. Um, and just at that moment, um, Devlin comes like sliding back on stage as if he had been running and at some point just like gave into inertia and let it take him to the mic, and he's about to slam into you, Nakmat, because you're at the main mic stand on stage. Are you going to stop it? Are you going to stop him, or are you going to
Bullseye
take
him.
that?
Say that one more time. Sorry, I missed the part leading up to.
Right. So Devlin is like sliding on stage.
Yeah.
He gave himself a running start and is about to collide with you.
I
Because you're standing at the main mic, the main microphone stand on stage.
um I want. This is gonna go so poorly, but I definitely want to try to like spin out of the way
Okay.
with the mic, obviously.
I feel like that would be something like finesse.
That's why I say it's gonna go poorly. Let's do it.
Your position is controlled. Your effect is limited.
I'm gonna push myself.
Okay, so that's another +2 then.
Yeah, so that puts me at 1 dot because I didn't have one before.
Oh lord.
So hey, at least I'm no longer rolling 2d20 and taking the worst, right?
Okay, fair enough.
An 8. I will take a minor success.
Okay, a minor success is like Devlin is still going to collide with you. But like you at least pull the mic away in such a way that like one of the first things that like he hits, like he still body checks you entirely, and like you still like slide a little bit to the stage, but he headbutts the mic on the way there. Um, and like reels back a little bit. You can tell from this close at this point that it's just that his shoes are really, really, the soles of his shoes are really, really slick, and the attempt to kind of rebound and like recenter himself, after that sends him like sliding the other way, and then he just puts his hands out and like just centers himself like this. And he just like gently says like enough that you can hear above like the din of the entire crowd. um he says, hand me that mic, kid.
I just smile at him and go, I'll hand it to you in a second, Duke Devlin. And then I turn out to the audience and go, thank you so much for coming out tonight. That was Starfall. But today, you witnessed a star rise. And I drop the mic and start walking away.
Yeah. Like just more uproar from the audience. Everybody's like, there are like folks who are not supposed to be close enough to the edge of the stage where they have like some um upward facing lighting and some other rigging where some of the cables for like the mic and stuff are running. They don't want anybody to touch those parts because obviously they'll get themselves hurt. Somebody has climbed one of the like barricades that they put just at the edge of that and starts like trying and failing to physically rock this otherwise like mostly steel enforced stage. And other people have noticed it and are like rapping at the edges of the stage and like trying to like grab like the edges of your clothes, Nakmat, and like they're waving very vigorously at you. Um and Devlin looks at you, Nakmat, and goes like makes this horribly obnoxious face. And then leans to pick up like bends down to pick up the mic and goes, so that's been it for tonight's Soundclash first two bouts. I hope you really loved what you heard. We're gonna have an after party at the Blue Orchid in just a couple of hours. If you want to kick it with me or any of the other performers in this beautiful hex of ours, or maybe even see some of these bands perform for your enjoyment again. And until then, we're out until the next session. And he just puts two peace signs up in the air. Turns back to you, Nakmat, and whispers something that I will give you the opportunity to like hear or discover if you want to. Or if you just want to let that stand.
No, I want. What is a whisper?
Give me a roll for it. I mean, I think that the most sensible role would be like somewhere along study.
I think observe makes sense.
Observe also makes sense, yes.
Or what did you think the first one? What did you else?
What's that?
What was the other thing you offered? Sorry.
I said study, but observe also makes sense. Um, 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 um. Okay, cool. What did
Really
you roll?
stranger hearing there.
What did you roll?
A 20.
Now, what action did you roll?
Observe.
Observe.
No.
And you have no dots in observe.
Nope.
And you strained and unobserved.
Correct. I see the universe.
I hear the universe. Sorry.
Right, so he doesn't speak. He's not really whispering. He's mouthing something at you, like very bitterly, and you make out that he's saying something to the extent of, "Don't you ever upstage me again, kid." But in his eyes, you see that he's not actually angry at you. He seems less like upset or annoyed or frustrated with you in particular, and more frustrated in general. And there's a moment where you like see that and go, "What's that about?" So, a thing that we hadn't dwelled on for quite some time is that your hand, like the translucent hand that we had discovered several days ago, is mostly back to normal, but there's still like some shimmering, like some like points of semi-translucence where you've regained your skin tone and stuff like that, but if you look really closely you can still kind of see through and still see like some speckles of glitter and stuff like that. The portion of your hand that is still like translucent starts feeling a little warm as you see that. And for the briefest moment, you find yourself no longer on stage, but in a one of the trailers that has been prepared for the show. But it's not a performance trailer. It's Devlin's amphitheater trailer, which is like 3.5 limos stitched together. Like there is a kitchen in his trailer. He has a 4-post bed in his trailer. It's not supposed to be a trailer. It feels like a small house. And he's sitting on a plastic chair somewhere by like the sink in his trailer and absolutely trembling. And one of the stage managers is uh, like leaning over trying to like talk to him about something, and for a moment you don't really hear what they're saying, and then you hear the stage manager go, "What do you mean? If you knew that this was going to happen, why did you let..." And he cuts the stage manager off and goes, "Because the show must go on and all that crap, right? Because we needed at least 4 performers. These are the only bands that we could get in this whole damn hex. And I'm absolutely positively sure." And uh, a tall woman enters the trailer now. Um, where you're standing, it's almost like that part of the trailer, like, is not in frame. So you don't really like, you see that a woman has walked in, you see that she is fairly tall, but you can't make out anything other than like the navy blue color of the pantsuit that she's wearing. Um, that her shoes look very fancy and very expensive. Like um, you can't tell much more like than just above like waist height features about her, but you feel like you know who this person is even though you've never met this person before. Like you identified that it was a woman before you saw her in frame, precisely because you felt like you were aware of everybody in this trailer at this point in time. And the woman pulls out a pocket watch, looks at it. You see that this time is like a 3:15. So this was like, you get the sense that this was this afternoon before the show even began. And the woman goes, "What's this drama again?" Devlin looks up, still like trembling, still absolutely shaking, and then tries to steel himself and says, "Nothing, ma'am. Don't have to think about it ever again." "Obviously you're thinking about it, Devlin, so I'm gonna think about it too. What's the matter?" Devlin pauses for a minute, starts shaking his head absolutely vigorously, and says, "It's nothing. Show will go on as usual, ma'am." You hear the woman wince, and then walk back out of the trailer. And then the stage manager leans in again and goes, "If you think that someone's trying to hurt you..." Devlin cuts her off again and goes, "Not someone. Her." "Who's her?" Like, Devlin puts a hand on her shoulder, on the stage manager's shoulder, still absolutely trembling. It starts back absolutely trembling and goes, "Minnie Blue's ghost is going to kill me." and you come back out of that vision, the audience is still absolutely cheering for you. There is a moment of there's a moment of like strange recognition as you look into Devlin's eyes in this moment, where Devlin is confused, like why the hell are you staring at me? And then like he realizes something, and his face like becomes just a little bit more sympathetic. And then he looks like meekly at you all, like kind of confused. Tosses the mic back into your hand, and then starts stepping off stage. And as you like as you see him, like very shyly, like a shadow of this as of the person that you saw just 6 minutes ago, um, steps off stage. That's where we'll close this session of Soundclash Clampdown. I'm really glad that we get.
Hey!
I'm really glad that we got to that
Yo!
point, because downtime is gonna be a doozy now that you know those things. How do you feel about your first clash in this game? How do you
That was
feel
fun.
about? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really
I-
glad that you liked it.
There's been parts where we're like we're figuring out like game stuff, and it's like super cool to like do that with you and like see you come up with things and like figure things out like in game, because it feels like, oh man, this is so cool, we're part of the design process, we're helping things out. That was like that feeling like really lifted everything for me, and I had a lot of fun.
I'm so glad, and I'm also very glad that you could. I'm glad that I'm playing with players who are also designers, because it means that like I'm really grateful that I can bounce ideas off of you, and that you can tell me what you're thinking about this mechanic or how it feeds into play in this way, because I'm actually really digging how clashes look at right now, and some of that is definitely because of you all, so thank you so very much for your input and for playing this very hype session, because this was really cool. So with that, we should begin to wrap up. So I will ask you all to please let all of you lovely folks in chat know who you are, what you do, and where folks can find you and your work. Starting with Vale.
Hi guys, I'm Vale. I use he and they pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Vicencio. If you want to hear more of my voice and me being super chaotic, you can listen to me on the podcast that I'm on, Forgotten Eras, in which we have a long-term interstitial game going where I play a Dark Himbo, and a new game, a Monster of the Week game, that is based off SCP stuff, where I play a father figure this time. Haha. And things are getting wild. We've got the first episode released, and we're gonna start dropping more episodes on that. So I would take a look out for that. Otherwise, please support my work on itch.io, in which I have playbooks and other stuff that's coming out. Some stuff that I can't talk about.
Okay, I'm looking
This is
forward to
exciting.
hearing about those things, and you can talk about them.
I also want to take a moment to talk up a project for that one of my friends is doing. RK Wild is starting a new horror anthology AP podcast that I helped name. It's called Fear and Living Color. They've already selected the people to do the intro, but soon people will be, we're going to be looking for other BIMPOC people to be part of this all BIMPOC horror anthology. So, like, yo,
I
RK
think this
is
a
a really
lot.
great creator, and I just really wanted to
This is
mention
indeed
that.
true. RK Wild is actually very dope. And I look forward to hearing more about that anthology and potentially doing a thing, because that sounds rad. Horror is definitely my jam. Next, Nathan.
Hi, hello. I am a shard of space dust and sinisterness crashing to Earth, Nathan Blades. Thank you very, very much for having me on this channel once again. You can normally find me on the Neoncaster Twitch channel, except I am currently on streaming hiatus while I prepare to move house. So you will not be seeing much of me on the internet until mid-June, aside from instances like this. But my return will be very exciting, I am sure.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, though, I will promote this again. Simon and Schuster, book publishing of lots of tabletop RPG projects, who also published the Ultimate Micro RPG book, which contains games by both Amma, Brandon, and myself, sent me 5 promotional copies, and I am giving them to people who send me a recording of one of my games being played, whether that is a podcast, a stream, a play-by-play writing down, play one of my games, send it to me, and I will send you a signed copy of the Ultimate Micro RPG book for free. The book is very good. You want it. Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah, it is indeed dope. As someone who played Nathan's game in the micro RPG game book on all frequencies, I definitely attest to that game being very dope. And everything
you.
else in that book is actually really, really nice.
Mhm.
If you're looking for games that are so short that they fit on one sheet of paper that you can introduce to your friends whenever they're looking for something to play in between games, that's a very good place to start. So I definitely look out for that if that is your jam. And next, Katie.
Hello, I've been Katie Chin, she, her pronouns, playing River Song tonight. If you want to listen to my voice in other places, you can listen to me playing Grace Chen on Balin's podcast, an urban fantasy audio drama. We're still in the midst of season 2. I think the 9th episode was released last weekend, so be sure to jump in on that if you want to get in on the chaotic fun. That's about all I'm doing right now.
Nice. I hadn't known that Villains had returned for season 2, so I'm definitely going to dig into that at some point because it's actually very, very good. So yeah, definitely check that out.
I've been enjoying it so far.
Yeah, it's rad. And last but not least, Amber.
Hi, I'm Amraz. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Amraz. I'm not doing too much right now, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time plugging it. If you want to check more of me, I'll just come next Saturday or every Saturday afterwards to the Lark Network Super Splash of Color stream. The only other thing I will add is, as Brendan mentioned at the top of the episode, there's an active genocide going on in Palestine right now, and that has been going on for nigh over most of the last 100 years. I'm talking about it a lot on my Twitter and have a lot of steps you can do to take action. Um, if you can, I would genuinely appreciate it if you took steps, then whatever's within your means to help stand against this. That's all.
And I'm definitely going to reshare that again because I um, really want people to be aware of how important that is. As like we think that because we're on Twitch playing games and having fun, we don't have a responsibility to talk about these issues, but these issues actually affect real people in the real world. And the stuff that has been taking place in Palestine is actually very, very upsetting. So even if the least that you can do is to educate yourself, that is absolutely valuable. And the most that you can do is actually to physically engage with these issues in ways that are tangible and not very difficult. So yes, I reshared Amber's tweet for you to peruse those resources at your leisure. So yes, thank you so very much. I have been and will remain Brandon O'Brien, the stage manager and the designer of Soundclash. This is my game that everybody is playing, and it's still um, not complete, but we're still having a lot of fun with the severed chunks that remain, and I'm really glad that it's coming together in ways that are engaging for you all and for these players. We will not be on for any games of Soundclash or Blades in the Dark, the case of the Scented Seal, next Sunday because next weekend is ArvCon. A lot of very interesting things will be taking place during ArvCon. We'll be seeing a lot of the other RPG sessions that take place on this channel will be running throughout the weekend. Unfortunately, I had misspoke earlier because Sound Clash Clampdown will actually not be running on Monday, but I am still putting together some secret things that we'll be working out on that Monday that will still be of interest to you all, especially if you want to discover some new indie games and actually get a chance to chat with and learn more about the designers who have made them. So I'm putting together a small list of things that will still happen on Monday if you want to check those things out as well. Information TBA. But until then, I'd like you so very much to give your love to these players. We've had a very lovely session this evening, and I hope that you've all enjoyed it. Um, and we will be back soon, very, very, very soon, with another session of Soundclash the Clampdown on this channel. But until then, I'm going to bid my friends adieu for the evening, just a little bit. As I come over here to say hello to you again, and thank you so very much for checking out this evening's session of Soundclash the Clampdown. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we actually got to do the clash thing. I'm glad that we got to actually figure out some of the rules in play, because I'm really glad that I'm working with not only such astute players, but people who actually have experience in design, who can tell me when a thing isn't working or when they have a cool idea, and I think that that's really neat. And I'm glad that us having that feedback was also a part of the enjoyment for them all, because that was really cool to see a game kind of figure itself out in play and try to be as rewarding as possible for everyone. So yeah, thank you again to Arvan Elron, to Greg, for giving me an opportunity to present Soundclash the Clampdown to you all on this channel. It's a lot of fun to be able to share this with people who are actually not only hype about this game, but are generally enthusiastic and engaging and nice and pleasant people, and I'm really glad to be a part of this community. So thank you so very much, Greg, for introducing me to this community and making me feel welcome here. Chafidi Mats, thank you for moderating this evening. I'm pretty sure I missed a moderator earlier this evening, who was also present doing the thing. Thank you so very much for keeping the a chat as pleasant and engaging as possible. I saw you got rid of a bot earlier. Thank you so very much for spotting that. Thank you so much to my the viewers who passed through. 1174, Academy Impossible, Amaraz, Byron the Empath, Crit Twitch, Discord for small streamers, which may be a bot, Garlic Tofu, Iscariot Paladin, Live Swing, Lone Wolf 67, Non Foods, Pederasdal, Prince Justin, Salalala, S. Maddie M, The Neon Caster, Hugh Christensen, and Villain Vicencio. Thank you so very much for checking out this evening's stream. I hope that you enjoyed it a great deal. I enjoyed presenting it to you all. I'm really glad that so many of you keep enjoying this thing and coming back for more, and I'm really excited to see how it ends, because now that we've revealed some things, we're going to have a lot of shenanigans, not only with the rest of the Clash tournament itself, but with some discoveries about certain characters and the reasons why they are in the positions that they're in, unfortunate as those positions may be. Until our next session, however, and until next you see me, which will most likely be at ArvCon, either as a mod or doing some special things on Monday. Until then, I hope that you all had a lovely weekend and will continue to have a lovely week. And I will see you all very, very soon.